Alrighty then, question 6, let's solve this. The first thing that you've got to look at is that the text file is still just 111 as in who's one sets, etc. Now in this case, if once you win 6, it will go on to the next set and so forth, and it potentially can win by 2, at least 2, and that there is at most 4 sets, but as long as someone wins 1 set. So it's asking us to create a method inside our you've been given a file of txt, blah blah. So we go down to the question. It actually asks us to create this method should process the results. So let's go process results. We need a method in the tournament manager class. So we go to our tournament manager class and we create one. And you'll realize I'm doing this on the fly. I don't think I've solved this before. I'll try to anyway. So let's go void process results. I think it asked me to call it. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Process results, yes. Okay, and it should open up the text file from, so file f is equal to new file, and this is the one that is processed inside results.txt. Okay, now you'll obviously need a scanner and we need to work through it. So we might as well get the marks that we know we're going to get first. So SCF is equal to new scanner. Now none of you have an excuse not to do this, because quite frankly, if you're going to read from a text file, you need to open the text file. It's going to throw exceptions, so we're going to handle the exception. Also the case that there might be marks allocated to this. I don't know where the marks are exactly allocated, but you might as well add things, and who knows, you could get some marks even if you don't get all of them. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to print out the error. We're going to say this is in process results, that this error is occurring. And then we're going to print out the EX. Don't forget to do that, otherwise if you have got errors it could be iffy. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to know we're going to need to loop through our SCF dot has next. So we know we're going to do that. Now the first thing that you'll notice is that the first line that we have there, if we look at the text file, let's actually open up the text file rather, is the match name, so M429. Now, if we read the question paper, let's just check what it needs us to do with that first line. It says that it's string, each score should be player 1, player 2, EGD, 6-2, etc. So it's basically write code, the results details, the affected match, your output should be as follows. Okay, so that's going to be the first line is going to be literally the match number. So I'm going to go string match, and then now match semicolon is equal to, that's not how you spell match, long day. Anyway, we're going to say if scf dot has next, then match is equal to scf dot next line. It looks by the looks of the text file, if we take a look at the text file, literally everything is just on a new line. So we don't really use the limiters here. It's just new line, new line, new line, new line. Okay, so I've got the match now, and now we're actually dealing directly inside here. We're dealing with the 1-1 if player 1 or player 2 won. Now there are two results here. One, player 1 could win the match, would win that set, whatever it's called, match I think it is, whatever. And player 1 could win the matches, so he's going to start off with 0, or 2, player 2 could win the matches, so he could end off with 0. And these are the actual matches. So I'm going to call it M. I think I should read the question paper better to determine whether it's a match or a set or whatever, but for the arguments of this video, I think it's a match. Won the first game. Oh, it's a game. Okay, the match is the overall thing. Okay, so my bad. G1, so matches player 1 games, player 2 games, 1 is 0. So both of them have won to get 0 sets, 0 games, sorry. Then we need to now also keep track of the sets. So at the moment, player 1 has won 0 sets, and the player 2 sets has also won 0 sets. So now we have items to keep track of games, and we have items to keep track of sets for each player. So now we can keep track of this. So now the next thing we've got to do is we've got to try to loop through this, and we've got to solve this. So we're going to go int result is equal to scf dot next line, which will get the whole entire line in. Oh, sorry, let me just go dot next. And I wonder if that'll push me to the next line. I'm assuming it will. Okay, so that should get the integer of that line. I'm going to just, for the interest's sake, for during testing purposes, sort out results and just see if we are actually getting the correct information through. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we need to determine if it's a game for player 1 or a game for player 2. So we're going to go if, open brackets, P1, result is equal to 1, then we will increment P1 G plus plus. So we're incrementing the player 1's result. Else, if it's not 1, it's obviously a 2, so we can then just say P2 G plus plus. So that would determine the result of that set. Now, that game has been added to here, but now it's going to continuously loop through, and will add the number of games that are won by player 1 and player 2. But now the condition comes in, because if player 1 gets 6 and is more than 2 points greater than player 2, we need to increment the set. And then we also need to check if player 2 works down, and as soon as it's 3 sets, so and so has 1. Now, let's just check also if the winner needs to be displayed, player 1 winner. So we need to also display the winner. So while we add it, we might as well create a string winner. Okay, that's wanting to display each set as well. So I have 3 things here. I am creating 3 variables. I don't know, I've got 2 sets here is equal to blank. And the reason why I'm doing that is basically here I've determined the match, then I want to determine the sets and the winners. So sets, those are the 3 things. If we break it down in this question, it's asking for the match, the who versus who. Okay, that's going to be a tricky one, because now it should determine who is playing who on there. Right coded results should be displayed. The details of the effective match output should be this versus this. So this is that search function, the method that we created earlier with regards to search for a match. If we send through that, we'll be able to search through the match and get that information there. So technically we could actually just add the results into the match string and then just display the to string of that match. Okay, easy enough. So we just need to find the match and update that. So that's at the end. So technically this would just be the results here. Should be the winner plus that. Alright, so if player 1 is equal to results, I think only one of them, it doesn't like that. Okay, we call it R. So we've got another one called result. Alright, so if player 2. Now if, open brackets, P1G is greater than or equal to 6, ampersand, P1G is greater than P2G plus 2, greater than or equal to. So basically what I'm stating there is if the player 1's games is greater than or equal to 6 and the player 1 games have won by more than 2 points, by 2 points or more. So basically I'm just stipulating to ensure, and use a BODMAS there, let me just zoom in it. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that the player 1 has won 6 games, or if player 1 has, and player 1 has won by more than 2 points. Then in which case, P1 sets plus plus, and if not, we will then need to do another if statement. We need to check if it's not the other way around. In other words, that player 2 beat player 1. So that's the next thing we're going to check here. So we're going to say player 2G and is player 1G plus 2. So and that's without. So basically we've done 2 conditions there. One is player 1 beating, has got 6 or more points, and if it is greater than 2 points above them. So if it is ended up being 8-6, it would meet both conditions here, and so forth. And in this case, player 2 would have won a set plus plus. And now what we need to do is we need to clear our player 1's games to be 0, as well as our player 2 games to equal 0. And same thing here, P, you can just copy and paste that over there, copy, paste, and then that would determine our set. But now that we've checked that the sets are happening, we need to check if the games are also the case. Now in this scenario, this would technically, so now we need to go if, open brackets, let's look at the criteria of the sets. I really don't know tennis that well. Okay, so it says there that 5 sets, so if the set gets above 3, at most 5 sets. With regards to the at most 5 sets, technically it's impossible to get to 5 sets without one of the players getting more than 3 sets. So it's the first player to get to 3 sets wins. So this criteria here, to me, it gives you this criteria here. You could add that as an additional condition, but I don't really see the point. And potentially we just need success. So what we need to do is we need to say if P1S is greater than or equal to 3, which quite frankly it should just be equal to 3. It should exit when it equals to 3. And you compare equals to is by equals to. Again, for security reasons, you could use that. Then we know player 1, 1, else if, open brackets, P2S is equal to 3, then we know player 2, 1. So here player 1 is 1, so I must use equal. And we would actually exit this whole entire statement. Now you can make use of a break, or you could put an additional condition here, a boolean if you want, if you don't like breaks. Personally, I don't see the issue with breaks, but I do know some teachers don't like it. I'll show you how to do both. So if player 1 is equal to 3, then winner, which we coded up there, we haven't actually added the results to it once it gets to a set. My bad. In here, step back, is here if the games are greater than 6, a set has been won by player 1. And we also need to, before we increment it to 0, we need to add the score to the actual result. So then we would go result is, R plus equals P1 games plus a dash. You would have to check the formatting. I really haven't checked the question. I don't sadly have time to. G, I'm assuming. Yes. Plus a space, I think, just to make sure that it's separated properly. How did I want it displayed? Let's take a look at the results it's wanting. 6 to space, yes, that's fine. Alright, now it didn't look like it cared about a space here. Yeah, just want that. Alright, now the same thing would need to be done for this over here. At the end of the set, you need to update your results. But in this case, we now have a winner. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say R plus equals player 1 wins. Where is it now? Let's read the question. Player 1 wins. So it doesn't actually give the final number of sets to each person, but whatever. So we'll go player 1 wins. I would have added in the question to actually display there something like by 3 sets to 1 or whatever it is, but whatever, doesn't matter. R plus equals, in this case, player 2 wins. And you need a space after that. And then your results would be formulated there. To me, this logic is sound, but now the last thing we've got to do is it asks us that this method should actually not be void, it should actually return the string of the statement of the results. So string, control S, so now we've looped through everything, we know it's fine. If it actually gets out of here, so we're going to now return, okay, now to get that statement to return like it's asking, we actually have to update the instance of what we're talking about. So first of all, we're going to say match. I'm guessing this here because we're basically trying to get the match that we're trying to update the results on. So we're going to be going match. No, I don't want. Why is it a string called match? Crap, I really shouldn't call the string match. Yeah, because I wanted to refer to the class match. Bad naming convention, bad me. Okay, control R. Let's call this M. And a small m. Okay, so now we're going to say match, the class match, temp is equal to. Now our tournament manager has one called find match, where we sent through the match code. And we got the match code earlier. The match code is M, and that should return the actual instance of the match. So now, temp.set score is equal to R, which has got the score in, and then we can simply return temp.toString, and that will return the match in the format that we wanted it. This method will throw an error because potentially if it catches here, it doesn't return anything. So in other words, it wouldn't actually get to this return statement. It would have thrown the error earlier, done the catch, etc. In which case we will return null because there was an error in it and it didn't get to return the temp.score. So now the next statement is actually to test whether this works. So we're going to go to our design document and add a little button here. Button, and we're going to say results. Okay, so we're going to run process results. In process results, we're going to run a method process results. I never like coding in here. Technically, you guys can though. And we're going to create a method called public and then we're going to say txt display.set text to be tman.populate process results semicolon control S. Now the proof is in the pudding. Okay, press play. Okay, we should probably get rid of some of these sites. Anyway, here we go. Process results. Bam, error. Result 1, null pointer exception. Result, null pointer exception, tournament manager. Set score to R. At the point, process results. Okay, so maybe let's just check if the find match was coded correctly. As I said, people didn't do this. I'm sure he did, but let's just double check. So potentially it could return null. If match is greater than 0, no match, yes. If, I'll try to look at this and see if I can find another potential issue is maybe that the match codes haven't come back correctly either. So maybe the match results. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print out the actual results, the R, before I go to the match because I want to see if the mistake is in my side or whether it was in the pupil's side. As very thankful to him for coding the rest up so that I can just do this part. So thank you, Reese. But let's just mark my area here as well, very easily enough. So let's just check site results. Plus R. Let's see if it actually does even come up with the results, or whether it's where the issue is, whether it's in the finding the match or whether it's in the actual result. So press play. Let's see what happens. Press process results. Bam. Okay, the results correct. So the error is with Reese, bad Reese. I'm joking. I will find the error. The potential issue is maybe I didn't actually get this correctly. Maybe this is going pear-shaped with regards to the M. So I'm also going to just sort out the match to make sure I'm actually getting the correct sort. So I think what's happening is it's not actually identifying the match correctly. So let's just see if the match is getting printed out correctly, and then we'll problem solve 101. Alright, close this. I don't want you to be running. Play. Process results. Okay, let's take a look at what the match is. The match is M24. There's a space before, but that's because I put a space there. It's M249. M429. Which should be a match that's existing there. If we take a look at the records, maybe the matches hasn't been processed. Ah, you know what? I'm an idiot. It is my mistake. Bad Reese. No, not bad Reese. Bad me for close it, Reese. I need to first run matches so that the matches have been populated. They hadn't been populated yet. And then I can only run process results, and then it works. We coded it onto the actual buttons, so the matches had to be first processed and then process the results. Otherwise, the matches didn't exist, so when I processed the results, it went there. So it was not Reese's fault. I apologize profusely. It was the fact that order of events that we needed to do. So there we go. It does work. The one thing that we didn't do is we didn't add the M29 whatever. But quite frankly, that's a bunch of a pending string. I'm not going to include that in the video. Goodbye. Under 20 minutes. Yay.